Good morning, Mr. Laszlo. Please proceed to lobby.
Okay, this is Accidental Disclosure, which is an entry into DeceptionVille, which is the first challenge of the Hammer Cup 2022, which was hosted on runthinkshootlive.com in association with MapLabs. So, Accidental Disclosure. We've been told we've to proceed to the lobby in a very clear radio message as soon as we, I guess, wake up.
Did you hear that someone is taking Philip's old room?
Yes, I'm not deaf.
I heard he's a research assistant from Black Mesa.
That's not what I heard. I heard he was from Aperture.
Aperture Science? Are you really not going to talk to him like you did with the last guy?
Unbelievable.
Well, to be fair, the last guy wasn't worth talking to.
Indeed.
Wait, really?
There's so much to explore,
Come on. You're
I
just
think.
unbelievable
At least it feels like there's a lot to explore, even though there's not really. If you actually go around the amount of stuff there is to find, it's not very much. But when you first kind of come into this level, you know, you see like the stuff in here and whatnot, and look around. It's interesting. You could even go right the way down this corridor, which is interesting. I guess I'm like a research assistant. I think that's what the text said. Which is interesting, because I actually did work as a research assistant. Which basically means they can get you to do whatever they want you to do. For cheap labour, basically. That's how universities work. Well, that might not be true, but, you know, that's how it worked for me.
Oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Gaius.
And I'm Arnold. I'm here to help with the portal equations.
Oh, and he isn't going to introduce himself, but he's Dr. Iscariot.
He liked the two scientists ago in your room. Hasn't talked to a newbie since.
It is nice to see someone in Philip's old room, though.
But we all still miss Philip.
Well, that's enough chit-chat.
Dr. Gaius, Arnold, and Iscariot, please proceed to the lab to begin the test. Mr. Laszlo, please proceed to the observatory.
Right. I guess I have to go to the observatory. I guess I'm Laszlo, the greatest mind of my generation. But I guess they were talking about the guy who was staying in my room before, who was presumably brutally murdered. But we'll find out. But it's all very mysterious. And the creator has really kind of created this air of mystery. I guess that's like the portal room in Nova Prospect. I don't know if we have to push that button. Probably, because it's green. And that always means you can just
Proceed with the test.
push the button.
Telemetry data links.
I'm not hitting frequency.
I don't know, do we sit down?
I think it's working now.
Oh, for God's sake, it's only a button. Just press it, that's all I ask.
Coil temperature is no longer within tolerance. Test failed. Return to your rooms.
Well, I guess that didn't work.
Don't you understand the gravity of the situation?
I guess we've got to return to our rooms and we'll maybe start the day again. It might be one of these You know, because I think there's been a couple of kind of maps like that, or concepts at least. Okay. This has kind of a very role-play feel to it. I guess if it does, we better go and shower and stuff, because, you know, that's how role-playing works. I still don't know what this is. Uh-oh. So it's creating this kind of uneasy feeling that something's going to happen. And we all think it's the guy who was on the
Good
right.
morning, Mr. Laszlo. Dr. Gaius, Dr. Arnold, and Laszlo, please proceed to the lab to begin the test.
Yeah, we all think it's going to be the guy over here, but it's probably going to be one of these two. That's my speculation. Again, can't confirm that. Can't hear what they're saying.
Oil temperature no longer within tolerance. Test failed. Return to your rooms.
Doesn't make sense.
Laszlo's equations seem to work. Is it something on your end?
No. Of course not.
I think this guy might be an alien. Because of his green glowing face. I was expecting something to happen, but apparently not. They're quickly heading off. Ah, very cliched, kind of. Almost like Prey 2017, where there was this kind of observation theme. And it, you know, so far this entry has really made it clear as to what is going on. At least up to now. So we know we're in some kind of experiment. I don't know what this thing was. I saw it. I wondered if it was like a button, but that's the issue with maps that are kind of under-detailed, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but anything you put on the wall, the player might perceive as being important, but that's it. That's an aside. Don't know what happened there. I presume
Dr.
we just
Gaius,
went to
Dr.
bed.
Iskrit, and Laszlo, please proceed to the lab to begin the test.
Expected you hours ago.
Oil temperatures no longer within tolerance. Test failed. Return to your room.
Why isn't the decoding finished?
Is that why it failed? can't ever seem to be able to read that.
So it's really interesting how it's got this air of repetitiveness to it. I was hoping things would be more different each time. Ah, so we're getting closer to the final day. Or the conclusion. Not that it's tedious, but I really am wondering. Well, the first thing I'm wondering is why do they just stand like that beside their beds? So there's something different here.
Transport singularity, interlock sequence engaged.
Okay, final day. I'm excited
Good morning,
for the
Mr.
conclusion.
Laszlo. Please proceed to lobby.
I heard the coil coolant system was updated last night.
Of course the test will be successful today.
Don't ever say of course. We can't take anything for granted.
Laszlo, please do the honors of selecting who should begin the test.
Laszlo gets to pick? I guess that means it's Friday.
Oh, who should we pick? Not him. Him. And him. I can't remember what their names were. There we go. So do I just go? Do I go with them? I don't know what happened there. Well, I know that the test failed. Don't know why, mind you. So we're way back here. Okay, I'm going to quickly run to where I was and see if we can get it right. Alright, so clearly there's a correct choice. I mean, I thought this was just, random, but the issue is, and I'm not sure I've fully understood this, there's a correct choice and a not correct choice, and are we supposed to know now what that choice is? So we picked these two. So let's go for these two guys, because they've both got, green faces now. Again, that's terrible reasoning, but might as well enter the equations now and then see what's going to happen. No.
I guess that means it's Friday.
Right, let's try this time. And if it doesn't work, then clearly we're missing something. Or the test will always fail and this map can't be properly completed, although I'm not sure if that was part of the rules. Like it had to finish, because I do have a problem with maps that don't end. Now, I've no idea why that happened. So we're helping the Combine, I presume. Maybe we are the Combine.
Good morning, Mr. Laszlo. Please proceed to lobby.
Okay, I'll run through this one quickly again, although
Did you hear that
it
someone is taking Philip's old room?
has a lot to it.
I heard he's a research assistant from Black.
Oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Gaius.
And I'm Arnold. I'm here to help with the portal equations.
Oh, and he isn't going to introduce himself, but he's Dr. Iscariot.
He liked the scientists 2 scientists ago in your room. Hasn't talked to a newbie since.
It is nice to see someone in Philip's old room, though.
But we all still miss Philip.
Well, that's enough chit-chat.
Dr. Gaius, Arnold, and Iscariot, please proceed to the lab to begin the test. Mr. Laszlo, please proceed to the observatory.
So, to me, this was set up as kind of a murder mystery, or one of these guys was, had it in for me and was going to be the one, the antagonist almost, and I had to watch out for one of them. That's what I initially thought. But obviously that wasn't the case. At least I don't think it was. And it actually builds up the premise really well.
Please
I mean, there's some
proceed with the test.
confusion with what is going on. It's, obviously we're trying to get the teleporter
It's only a button. Just
up and
press
running.
it, that's all I ask.
I like how they both do that kind of weird scripted sequence at the same time.
Coil temperature is no longer within tolerance. Test failed. Return to your rooms.
Well, I guess that didn't work.
Don't you understand the gravity of the situation?
And I feel like, yeah, I was really getting into this premise, despite the fact all we're doing is walking, listening, and pushing buttons. That's literally what this map boils down to. But because the kind of behavior or the narrative is kind of a bit mysterious, it really does hook you in, and well, it hooked me in. Maybe it's not for everyone. Maybe at some point some people who like kind of action more would have quit. Okay, this is like kind of the whole murder mystery thing. I thought that we'd have to choose one to like fight at the end instead of just pick. Now, I'm going to go in here and see if well, I guess we can't go in. We get that kind of glimpse the first time of that there is something here, but then I will go and see if there's any clues as to who the one sabotaging these tests is, because I feel like I missed something.
Good morning, Mr. Laszlo. Dr. Gaius, Dr. Arnold, and Laszlo, please proceed to the lab to begin the test.
I'm just testing to see what happens if we follow this guy. it disappears. He's the bad guy. Because to me, this area is extremely underutilized. We use it the first time and then that is it.
Assuming everyone gets them right, this should work.
This is what you did as a research assistant, right, Laszlo?
No. This isn't what I did as a research assistant.
Toilet temperatures no longer intolerant. Test successful. Congratulations. At your leisure, please return to your room.
It worked! It worked! Oil temperature is simple to fix. We'll have a working teleporter in no time.
You see, round about here the narrative gets shaky. Because obviously it worked, but... Okay, I was just checking. Don't trust anyone. And again, I'm getting the sense that I should be more on edge at this point. I should be like going out of my mind to know who it is. And I kind of, the first time I played, I kind of was like, oh, you know, really wanting to know if I was going to get like murdered or if someone was going to turn insanely evil. And I think this is where we first find out this. And I thought this was just, oh, this is just interesting. This is the big twist. Is that we're in a facility. But I think we can work out who's sabotaging the test. You know, he's got like a video camera there. Quite a clean corporate room. What's that? I don't know. Kind of looks like a... Well, doesn't look very appealing in that room. And then there's floating wires in here.
Dr. Gaius, Dr. Iskrit, and Laszlo, please proceed to the lab to begin the test.
I expected you hours ago.
Looks like the test failed because the entire thing is not solid.
No longer intolerant. Test failed. Return to your rooms.
Why isn't the decoding finished? Is that why it failed?
So I guess we're the ones pulling the strings. To some degree.
Transfault singularity, interlock sequence engaged.
Good morning, Mr. Laszlo. Please proceed to lobby.
I heard the coil coolant system was updated last night.
Of course the test will be successful today.
Don't ever say of course. We can't take anything for granted.
Laszlo, please do the honors of selecting who should begin the test.
Laszlo gets to pick? I guess that means it's Friday.
So we'll pick the two that was successful last time. So what happens if we go this way again? I mean, I feel like there should be more alternative content if you go off the beaten track. But very clearly, that is not the case unless I am missing stuff, which is possible, and unfortunately, I cannot catch everything that a mapper or group of mappers puts into their levels in these videos. I'd like to go around every single object and push E on it to see if it does something, but unfortunately I don't have the time. So it failed that time. Okay, so two things. First thing, unless my memory failed me, I think I picked the orange shirt guy and the black shirt guy, and it succeeded the first time, I think. Again, I might be misremembering that. And it failed. And also, I think it's whoever's sabotaging the test is trying to blow up the facility or something like that. And we're maybe working with the Combine to ensure they don't. Let's select these two guys. I can't remember what their names were, even though they told me very clearly at the start. And that happens in real life as well. When people tell you their names, I'm too busy thinking, oh no, I'm meeting new people. This is incredible. And then it's like, oh, I have no idea what your name is. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. So that was successful that time. But it doesn't make it clear why. So overall, my view on this level, on accidental disclosure, is that it started off really interesting. It built up this premise of you're a research assistant and there's 3 other people working with you to get this teleporter working, and one of them is bad or trying to sabotage it. The other 2 are good or just normal. And as the level went on, it became a lot more repetitive and a lot less engaging, to the extent where at the end where you got to pick, it was good to have that choice, but I didn't know why or how to make the choice, and to me it was all random. Now, I have possibly missed something that I should have seen. I should have seen, oh, that's the person who's sabotaging it. I don't pick up on everything, but in that case, it could maybe be made a bit clear. The issue with this whole DeceptionVille stuff is you can literally do anything and be like, oh, but it's DeceptionVille, I'm allowed to deceive you. And I'm not saying that's what the creators of that level were doing. I 100% am not saying that. But I think it could have been made a lot clearer, and that choice would have been more meaningful if I'm like, this is the person who was trying to sabotage the experiment, the teleporter. That would have been good. And maybe if I play it again, then I'll see. But for now, I'll leave off with the recording. I'm sure you all don't want to see me play that one again. But overall, a really interesting premise, and the fact is it didn't have one part of combat, and yet it still it made me want to continue playing it for the most part. So very well done there.